the action. Yeah, ho, we tapping and passing like magic. No, we not asking, we see it, we grabbing. Diamonds, they flashing, go blind when I'm passing. Mask on, I'm clapping, no mask on assassin. Jugging, we snatching, all black is the fashion. We not the same, bro, just look at the fabric.
Hey, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Common. You back with another video, man. Hey, man, real quick. It's a couple of things I wanted to address real quick. One being all the free agency, and it just seems like anybody who's released, who's available, always linked to the Cowboys somehow, right? And certain names that I don't entertain because it's like, we all know who Stephen Jones is. Stephen Jones ain't pulling no trigger on. If it's not a player, one thing in the way, my process of elimination, if it's not a player that I feel like we're going to get on a prove a deal on a cheap or half the price that he usually play for, to me, it's no possibility that that's going to happen. So I did that right there. One thing I did see that was interesting was someone brought up, it was Lil Brunson. I watched Lil Brunson video. Shout out Lil Brunson. He brought up the narrative of the 4,000-yard season for a quarterback still being an accomplishment in today's NFL, and which I do agree with to some certain extent, but I also look at it. I do also look at it as 4,000. Depending on how your team is, 4,000 yards is kind of like the benchmark to be a franchise QB. You know what I'm saying? And I think people misconstrue that. It's a difference between franchise QB and elite QB. Kirk Cousins is a franchise quarterback. He's had maybe 6 seasons over 4,000 yards. You know what I'm saying? He might not be elite in a lot of people's eyes, but Derek Carr got 4,000 yard season. He might not be an super elite, but it is what it is. So I say that to say this, like, unless you like Lamar Jackson, who's put up historic numbers and willed his team to an MVP, sort of like Cam Newton-ish, those are the only people that really get exempt from hitting the benchmark. You know what I'm saying? Unless you just like Derrick Henry. You got Derrick Henry, or you hand the ball off 30 times a game. I mean, because people love to use Josh Allen. Josh Allen ran for over 700 yards last year, still threw for 4,400 yards. I mean, it happens. Yes, it's not, everybody doesn't hit it, but like last year, I believe only 10 quarterbacks hit it last year, but there's storylines behind that, you know what I'm saying? And when I say storylines behind that, right, even somebody who I don't really a particular fan of, like Jimmy Garoppolo, right? Jimmy Garoppolo still had 3,800 yards, but Jimmy Garoppolo also was banged up a couple of games that Trey Lance played. Russell Wilson didn't hit it last year, but Russell Wilson also was hurt, though, so that's another guy that usually hit it. I mean, Matt Ryan usually hit it. He played for a depleted team last year who basically lost all his receiving weapons, and he missed it by 100 yards, so he usually hits it. You get what I'm saying? If I'm not mistaken, did Carson Wentz hit it last year? I'm not sure. I don't think so. He might have just missed it. Dak Prescott hit it last year. Justin Herbert. Jared Goff has hit it before. He didn't hit it last year, but these are just a few of the names it's not uncommon. People hit 4,000. Like, usually, if you're a quarterback, if you're considered a franchise quarterback, you usually hit that 4,000 plateau. He used examples like, yes, teams like the Bears and the Jets, teams like that in the 16-game era that never had a 4,000-yard QB, but these are teams who historically been in the quarterback carousel for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, when the last time that you felt like the Chicago Bears had a good quarterback? When the last time you felt like the Jets had a good quarterback? And that's going all the way back past Mark Sanchez and Geno Smith and all of them. So it's like, stats like that can be miscued, you know what I'm saying? A team like the Eagles, they only had one 4,000-yard passer in Donovan McNabb, but the era he played in, like John Elway don't have a ton of 4,000. Steve Young, the era these guys played in, is back then when you threw for 4,000 yards consistently, it was considered, oh yeah, he one of the ones, he amazing, like putting up them stats. Like that didn't happen a ton back then. Like Brett Favre and guys like that was anomalies. But anyway, it's like, that's usually, if you play 16 games, 17 games now, that's usually the benchmark where people measure at. Okay, he can throw for 4,000 yards. Like I said, it's little variables that go on that you might fall a little short, or you might be up under, you miss a game or two, this, that, third. Like, it's there, like, things happen. It's not saying that everybody's team is perfect, but I feel like, yeah, man, like, the average franchise QB should be able to throw for 4,000 yards. I mean, we done seen guys who got moved on from throw for 4,000 yards. So, like, it's not really, like, I look at it as, that's the box we check. You know what I'm saying? Because when you first looking at a franchise QB, first thing you check, oh, how many 4,000 yard seasons you got? Oh, okay. Okay, how many? It depends on the QB. Like somebody like Lamar Jackson, the year he won MVP, he didn't have 4,000 yards passing, but he had 36 touchdowns to the air with 1,200 rushing yards and 3,100 yards and single-digit interceptions. That season was phenomenal. So things like that, yeah, you give or take. Cam Newton was an MVP. Seasons like that, you give or take. Like, he's a different type of machine, different type of beast. So, like, that's just my thoughts on it, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Always remember, like and subscribe. It's your boy Common. Salute. We out here.